Do you ever feel like giving up when things get hard? You had the plan. Finish the task. Hit the gym. Finally stick to a healthy diet. Be the person you promised yourself you'd become. But then you fail. You're right back in the loop you promised you'd escape. Scrolling. Eating fast food and hesitating. Your brain isn't completely broken. It's automated. A powerful machine trained by repetition. And right now it's running on loops that lead nowhere. And while it's not entirely your fault, it is entirely your responsibility to retrain your brain to work for you, not against you. Think of your brain as a bustling corporation, each region of the brain running its own department. But here's the problem. Like any company under stress, it starts leaning too hard on dopamine. At the top of the company sits the CEO, the prefrontal cortex, that is rational and analytical. The final decision maker focused on the long-term vision, at least how it should be. Every judgment, every long-term goal, it's all on their shoulders to make the company prosper. But even the best CEOs crack under pressure. That's when the CEO starts chasing dopamine, the feel-good chemical, but also the shortcut. So in times of stress, he leans on the assistant. And this is where the hippocampus comes in. Also known as the archivist, the one who knows the memories and experiences inside out. The one who brings every file to the CEO desk with emotional stickers attached. So when the CEO is fried and desperate for a quick dopamine relief, the archivist slides a folder across the desk. Hey boss, remember the last time you were sad and stressed out? You had this fat, juicy McDonald's burger. Let's do it again and worry later. Certainly the archivist isn't thinking long term. He's trying to help the overwhelmed CEO with whatever memory that says, this made us feel good. Even if it means scrolling or eating crap because it worked before. But here's the problem. When the CEO drowns in dopamine, the whole company gets jittery and shaky. You might ask why. Because it's like corporate sugar rush, bad food, procrastination. Scrolling, dopamine loops on infinite repeat. And suddenly the company is losing revenue, purpose, progress, and discipline. The same goes to you. You're wasting time, attention, and opportunities you could be yours if you weren't chasing quick hits. When the CEO gets exhausted, the hippocampus, the archivist, starts linking those cheap hits with comfort. The CEO can't think clearly, because the emotional tags attached to past dopamine spikes are drowning out logic. So decisions don't come from long-term vision, they come from the dopamine loop. This is exactly what happens in real life when you overload your brain on dopamine from cheap sources. Your mental diet is so poor when you depend heavily on highly stimulating activities. When you try to numb yourself and avoiding hard choices, you consume daily doses of scrolling and fast food, and that feels good but not what helps. That rush of dopamine reinforces the behavior, which makes you want to do it again. That's dopamine-driven reinforcement, reward system in the brain, so messed up starts thinking what you are doing is constant reward, but you have nothing to reward yourself for, and your brain starts believing that nothing meaningful is worth rewarding. That's not just bad habit, that's dopamine error, a false signal that says you're winning when you're actually stuck because you procrastinate and don't progress. And the more you repeat it, the deeper the wiring goes, because neurons that fire together wire together. Over time, when you constantly repeat bad dopamine choices and running on autopilot, your brain craves the loop, even though it gives you nothing back. That's habituation. Your brain stops reacting to the stimulus, but you keep chasing it anyway, because it's familiar. Over time, if eating fast food becomes routine, your dopamine response weakens. You don't get the same thrill or satisfaction from it as you used to. It's automated because you conditioned yourself through repetition. The reward system gets so fried it stops responding to real wins. You lose the ability to feel joy from meaningful effort. You chase the high, but it never hits the same, and that way your even simple choices to break from that becomes hard. Now come back to your mental company and take a guess. What the CEO should do? Fire the assistant? No, because the hippocampus is crucial and needed in the company. It tells the CEO why something matters. The emotional why behind past decisions brings memory and context to the table, but it needs retraining to be a better assistant. When dopamine comes from deep work, study, challenge. Even though they feel hard at first, the hippocampus starts tagging those as rewarding. Over time, your brain remembers. Remember that hard thing? It made you feel good? That's how hard decisions become easy. Because through consistency and repetition, the brain builds emotional tolerance to discomfort and starts linking it with long-term pleasure. Over time, this repetition strengthens neural pathways. The brain begins to learn that hard choices equal fulfillment. The result? The hippocampus reinforces the right loops, the CEO makes smarter choices, and your entire mental company starts running on growth, not autopilot. You want to become the CEO of your healthy mind. So you've got to train like one. This means becoming someone resilient, disciplined, and calm under pressure. Because when dopamine whispers, take the shortcut, fast food, scrolling, procrastinating, you'll need to choose what matters, not what's easy. And to do that, you need to rebuild how your brain works. Step 1. Build decision-making muscle. Great CEOs don't fold in stress. They make strategies and swift decisions, especially when the pressure is on. You can't build an empire of a great company if you can't even say no to instant gratification. Hard choices feel hard because your brain is wired that way. But it's also built to adapt. Every difficult decision you make is like a rep in the gym. Painful at first, but it strengthens your mental muscles the right way. Each time you resist the easy choices and choose focus, grit, or delay, you're training your brain to make hard choices on autopilot until it feels like instinct. Remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. It's like planting seeds. At first, nothing happens, but over time, discomfort becomes familiar. Pain becomes more acceptable. And the difficult becomes automatic. This is how mental resilience is built. That's how CEOs make decisions under fire. Step 2. Plant new neural pathways. The more you choose purpose over pleasure, discipline over distraction, the more your brain locks into the new identity of a leader. Your brain is a neuroplastic organ. It adapts to what you feed it. When you do hard, meaningful things consistently, you plant new seeds in your neural soil. When you train it with real effort, studying, moving, creating, it starts tagging those experiences with dopamine, not cheap spikes, but deep satisfaction. At first, it's super uncomfortable, but over time, those seeds sprout into habits that crave the grind. That's when you begin to enjoy it. You start to feel rewarded by momentum. That's how you break the old loops and build new ones. You're no longer avoiding pain. You're using it to your advantage. This is how your identity transforms slowly at first and then all at once. The choices that once felt impossible and challenging now start to feel natural. That's how the dopamine loop resets. Not through avoidance or lengthy monk modes when it feels like a punishment, but by training your mental muscles the right way to endure and adapt. And this way, hard choices become easy because you build enough tolerance towards things that caused you pain at first. Step 3. Design your environment to win. Every elite CEO knows this. The best decisions aren't forced, they are designed. Stop making the right choices hard to execute. Set up your life so the right move is the default move. This is choice architecture. Designing your environment where even the hardest decision becomes the easiest one to make. Great CEOs know their energy and time are the greatest assets. They don't waste it battling small choices or leaning on willpower every day. No, they build systems that make winning automatic and failure inconvenient. Why did Mark Zuckerberg wear the same t-shirt daily? To eliminate friction and decision fatigue. That's smart choice design. Want to lead your mind like a high-performance company? Then build an environment where success is non-negotiable. You want to work out? Lay out your shoes the night before. Want to eat clean? Make healthy food visible? Junk food invisible? Want to stay focused? Mute distractions and schedule deep work. And no, you don't need to vanish into some extreme dopamine detoxes like a Buddhist monk. Trust me, I've tried the dopamine detox route many times. Sure, it resets your dopamine system, but unless your why is ironclad and you've made peace with discomfort, it won't stick. Real mental leadership isn't about escaping chaos or running away from hard choices. It's about staying conscious when they happen. Great CEOs don't hit run away when the company is on fire. They double down, solve the problems and make the right choices. If you want to become the next Healthy Mind CEO, start designing your environment, rewiring your neural pathways, and building decision muscles. So the hard choices become automatic. If it sparked something in you, drop a comment and hit subscribe button. See you in the next video.